Dear Heavenly Father, on this sad and tragic anniversary when New York City Fire Department retired, to come forward in any capacity during 9/11, whether you were from out of state, a rescue team, you're with New York City, that you bore the brunt of what happened for all of us, if you would stand. And before I turn it over to Steve, I wrote an article about in my presidential address that just came out last month, and I'd like to read a little bit of it. And it says, "The modern day Spartan warriors, are you one of the 300? I'm a big history buff, and I love history. And Lieutenant Canarian, my good friend Steve, took me on a midnight tour of 9/11 2 weeks ago. When Only a Spartan can tell you why they do it, what drives them forward, shoulder to shoulder with their brother and sister in the face of great danger. Only a Spartan can know how important their service is to their fellow soldier in the cities that they protect. Only a Spartan can accept death for another without stepping back to the side, meeting that death face to face. So for those of you who are still wondering, for those who do not know, we must direct the answer to them. You must go ask a Spartan. For only a true warrior can know the answer that many of us always seek. I am thankful for the men and women of our military, and I'm thankful for each one of you, the men and women of public safety. I don't have to go far to ask the Spartans. And remember that Lieutenant Colonel Grossman wrote, they weren't there, they went there. They didn't run from the fire, they ran into the fire. They didn't run down the staircase, they ran up the staircase. They didn't lose their lives, they gave them. And so I'd like you to welcome my friend, Steve Canary.
On September 11th, I was a lieutenant in the Bronx. I was supervising a station, and we sent ambulances down to Ground Zero. And honestly, when they left the station, I really didn't know if I'd see them again. It was a day I can't even begin to explain. But, 9 years ago today, the whole country was racked with disbelief. And so we responded with the urban search and rescue team down at Ground Zero after the collapse of the Twin Towers. And we tried our best to find co-workers and civilians, and there was nobody left to rescue. But we did everything we could do. And really more than anything, at the 9th anniversary, I would just like to share with you that I feel so privileged to have worked with guys like Carlos Lillo, who I supervised and competed against in softball, Elizabeth Reeves, who backed me up, Renee DeVille, who was my lieutenant. There's a lot of people called off, the names are called off today. There's a lot of EMS people who aren't mentioned on a day like today. So I'm going to try to tell the EMS story in the years to come, so that the future generations will know what happened. And more importantly, they'll know how we stay safe. Now, I stand here in front of you reasonably healthy, knock on wood, because of my training. I had multidisciplinary training from the New York City EMS Academy, from Civil Service Academy in Massachusetts, the New York City Fire Department Special Operations Command, and I had the right equipment. And I've taken the task of telling the story in the future, and we all know how bad delegation is. I'm going to delegate to you now, all my fellow educators, make sure you teach your EMTs and paramedics how to stay safe, how to use PPE. I tell every class that I teach, my 3 best friends, that saved my butt out there, even with all the protective equipment, time, distance, and shielding, my best friends. Even with the protective equipment, there were times when I had to leave the scene, go behind a building. And you need to share those rules with them and teach them the generic all-hazard safety rules and how to deal with stress. I never believed in post-traumatic stress. I worked in the Bronx 10 years. Let me tell you, it's real. We need to train these people how to stay safe and deal with stress. And that's my charge to you, okay? I've had a great conference here, talking to many fellow professionals, and please take that responsibility. Thank you.